What happens when you decide to live an authentic life? When you stop filtering yourself to fit into other people's expectations? When you start listening to your inner voice instead of silencing it? Imagine going to bed every night and sleeping like a baby, not because your life is perfect, but because you're at ease, in alignment with your soul, where it feels nourished. Yet, one of the hardest things in life is to truly understand yourself. Some people figure it out partially, most never do. And very few have the courage to embrace themselves for who they really are. We live in a world that conditions us to be good, to not rock the boat, to please others, to say yes all the time. Over time, we internalize this so much that we forget about what we truly want. We fear disappointing others. And what's worse is that we fear looking inward. What if we don't like what we see? What if we discover that the life we have built isn't aligned with who we truly are? And what if we don't have the courage to change it? But here's the truth. The moment you prioritize your authenticity, everything shifts. And while it's not always easy, the rewards are totally worth it. So, what is authenticity? It isn't about being perfect or even about always being happy. It's about being real with yourself and with the rest of the world. It means living in alignment with your values, even if it is inconvenient. Saying what you mean instead of what people want to hear. Making choices based on what feels right to you, not what society expects. Showing up as you truly are without having to wear a mask to fit in. Why does this matter? Because when we are not authentic, we pay a price, often without realizing it. Have you ever felt drained after pretending to be someone you're not? Have you ignored your gut feeling just to make someone else happy? Have you ever smiled on the outside while you feel empty on the inside? That's what happens when we betray ourselves. We think we're keeping the peace, but actually what we're doing is we're starting an internal war. And here's the biggest truth. The cost of pretending is far greater than the cost of being your true self, than the cost of being real. That's why today we're going to talk about what happens when you finally choose authenticity, the good, the bad, and the life-changing freedom that comes with it. The first thing that happens is that you will lose some people. When you start honoring your true self, your circle becomes smaller. People start leaving. Not everyone is going to be okay with you not prioritizing them anymore. This is not because you have changed, but it's because you're rocking the equilibrium that the other people around you have got comfortable with. They may say that you've changed, but in reality, you've just stopped apologizing for being who you really are. Letting go of these relationships can be painful. But remember this, every time you lose someone for being real, you're actually creating space for other people who truly appreciate you for who you are. Which brings me to the second point. You will find your true people. While some will leave, the right people will stay. Those who respect your choices, value your authenticity, and love you for who you are, not for what you do for them. These are the relationships that will nourish your soul. And once you experience this kind of connection, there's no going back. You'll never want to settle for anything less. Think of a time when you had a conversation with someone where you felt completely at ease and at peace without feeling judged. No pretending, just pure connection. That's what authenticity attracts. The third thing that happens is that you will gain unshakable confidence. In the beginning, standing up for yourself and for what you believe is true can be very daunting and scary. It may even make you second guess your intention. But once you push through that fear, something incredible happens. You develop an inner confidence that no external validation can match. You no longer have to remember what you said to different people because everything you say aligns with your truth. No act to keep up, no facade to maintain. Authenticity becomes your constant. And that kind of self-trust is powerful. Point number 4. You're going to stop apologizing for who you are. Most of us spend our lives apologizing for things that don't need an apology, like our opinions, our choices, our boundaries. But when you embrace authenticity, you stop seeking permission to be yourself. Think about how often you've said, "Sorry, I just need some time for myself," or "Sorry, I don't want to do that." Why should you apologize for honoring your needs? The moment you stop, you reclaim your power. Which brings me to point number 5. Your tolerance to nonsense will drop. When you live authentically, you develop a sharp radar for inauthenticity. You can walk into a room and scan it, and you'll know the real from the fake. You stop engaging in meaningless conversations. You stop entertaining drama. You stop wasting energy on relationships that drain you. Instead, you make space for clarity, peace, and meaningful connections. You choose a life that feels good on the inside, not just looks good on the outside. Which brings me to point number 6. Life becomes simpler. When you're not pretending, you're not wasting time impressing the wrong people, you're not saying yes when you actually mean to say no, you're not overthinking your decisions. Most people live their lives constantly looking for approval. What will people think? Am I making the right decision? Do they approve? But once you align with your true self, you realize that you already have all the answers. Your intuition gets stronger and you start trusting yourself. And that is ultimate freedom. Which brings me to the last point, that you will inspire others. When you step into your authenticity, you give other people permission to do the same. It takes a lot of courage to do so, and therefore, you become a role model for others who aspire to do the same. People around you will see your confidence, will see your inner peace, and your ability to stand in your truth. And they'll want that for themselves. Think of someone you admire, maybe a public figure or a close friend. What draws you to them? Chances are it's not their perfection, but their realness. At some point, we all make a choice. Everything comes at a cost. Do we keep living a life that pleases everyone but leaves us feeling empty? Or step into who we really are? Is a question we need to ask ourselves. Authenticity isn't about becoming someone new, it's about coming home to yourself. The world doesn't need more people who fit in. It needs more people who stand out by being real. What you gain in return is priceless. Self-respect, inner peace, and a life that actually feels like your own. So ask yourself, are you ready to stop settling for a version of yourself that's not real? Because the moment you choose authenticity, your life changes. If this message resonates with you at any level, do mention it down in the comments. What's one step that you are taking towards a more authentic life? If you want to gain more control over your life, watch this video next, and I'll see you there. Bye-bye.